See this shirt? My aunt gave it to me for my birthday. See what it says? LucasGrowsBest. LucasGrowsBest. I love it, and thanks so much. Hey growers, what's up? My name's Lucas, and I'm having a bit of an issue in my garden. You see, some of the vegetable plants in my garden have toppled over. So today I need to figure out what I'm gonna do about this. So as you can see here, some of my bell pepper plants have unfortunately had some stems snapping on them. So I really don't know what caused this because it's never happened in the past like this. These branches seem to be pretty slender, pretty weak, and they just started loading down with a secondary flush of fruit. So maybe the heaviness of the fruit, and potentially maybe not quite enough of a certain nutrient that caused the stems to get thinner. You can see right here where the stems have snapped. It's rather unfortunate. These plants were looking extremely healthy, and as you can see, we got some really nice looking bell peppers ripening on these plants, but that's just how things go sometimes. And you can see here, this brown on this pepper here, to me this looks like sun scald. So this is because the peppers were exposed to really direct sunlight, and that'll cause them to get this discoloration, and this part is pretty much inedible, but you can cut around it. So I'm gonna start off just by cutting off any of the stems that are very severely broken because they're not gonna recover. So this one unfortunately has to go, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take off these peppers and I'm gonna use them in some sort of salad or maybe an omelet. What I've got with me here are just some bamboo stakes that I cut so that they're not too long. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this in the ground here. Now I'm not too worried about this puncturing the roots because these plants have pretty much produced all they're gonna produce now, which means that they're just focusing on ripening, they're not growing, so the roots aren't all that important. Okay, so now that I got the stake in place, I'm just gonna lift this branch up to where it needs to be supported, and I'm just going to use this grocery bag to tie the plant onto the stake. Hopefully this will work. Actually, probably the best place to do it is just above the fruit. This stem with the pepper on it is now supported by this new stake. So even though it's bent here, hopefully it can recover. So I'm just gonna repeat this process with the rest of my bell pepper plants, and I'll show you the finished product when I'm done. All right, so I finished off tying up the toppled pepper stems. It looks pretty good in my opinion. Obviously, it'd be nicer if I had better supports to begin with, but I never expected this to happen. So learn for next year. So a few days ago, I came outside and I saw that my sun gold cherry tomato plants were falling over. The reason for this is that these plants are extremely tall and they're extremely vigorous. So these ones are about, I'd say, 10 feet tall. And I'm just supporting them with these bamboo stakes. So basically it's just a freestanding structure. It's like a skyscraper, if you will. Basically the issue is that they didn't have enough support. Ideally, you'd want to have some sort of support at the top of the plant, which is why greenhouses that grow commercial cherry tomatoes and commercial beefsteak tomatoes use a string trellis method. So they have strings tied to the top of the greenhouse, to the purlins of the greenhouse, and they run down to the ground. So this provides support from above, which would be ideal. But in the case of my garden, this year I didn't really have the budget to go out and build a really fancy trellis because I had already spent a lot of my money on an irrigation system. So next year I'm gonna try to find a stronger method to stake my cherry tomatoes, so hopefully this issue won't happen again. For now, I'm stuck with trying to fix it. So what I did a couple days ago is I just took some bamboo stakes, stuck them into the ground around the base of the plant, and tied them around the plant. So just to provide a bit more stability around the base of the tomato plant. And that wasn't enough. So what I ended up doing is tying one of the stakes onto my blueberry tomatoes trellis behind it. So that trellis is now supporting some of the weight of that stake. What? Mom?
Hi. How's your sun golds?
Good. This is going in the video. So I didn't want to put too much of a strain on my trellis, so what I did with the other sun gold plant in front of that one is I tried to brace it with another bamboo stake, and that didn't work because as you can see that one toppled over again. So I'm gonna have to try to reinforce it even more right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually try to prop it again with another stake, and hopefully this time it'll be enough. Not sure how this is gonna work, but we gonna try. That like this, and this is going to be at this is a longer stake, so I'm going to put it at more of a gradual angle. Actually no, I'm going to put this one higher up than the other one, like that. Yeah, that should work. Shoving bamboo stakes into the ground is not the funnest activity in the world. And this tomato plant looks really cruddy because it's fallen down like twice now, so oh well. Eureka! It's still falling over, but it's a little better than it was. Okay, so now I topped up my plants that were falling over, so hopefully things will be a little better now. I definitely wouldn't win any contests with my construction, but the thing is, sometimes with a garden you just have to be crafty. You gotta be creative, because sometimes you make mistakes, and I made the unfortunate mistake of not supporting some of my plants the best that I could. But that's life. Live and learn. Fall down, get back up. Fall down again, get back up again. Keep getting up until... Anyway, you get the point. All right, growers, so that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed, hope you found it useful and helpful, and I got a bit more work to do in my garden, so I'll see you next time.